Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, friends. My name is Sarah Mendelson, and I am the new U.S. representative on the Economic and Social Council. I want to thank the UN Foundation for the invitation to speak before you tonight on a topic we all care about, the future of the world and the global goals that will help make this world a better place. Just a few weeks ago, as you saw, in an era filled with ever-increasing crises, we watched something altogether different, something nothing short of stunning. We watched the world come together in a resounding and triumphant display of multilateralism. That's what you were seeing up there. We watched world leader after world leader, no matter how divergent their politics, commit with strength at September's summit to an agenda that can put an end to extreme poverty without wavering from the protection and preservation of the planet's resources, an agenda that can empower women and girls and reduce the many forms of inequality in all our societies, that can combat modern slavery and promote justice for all. Getting to that moment just a few weeks ago took several years and millions of people. This was a deeply inclusive process with the mobilization of voices, talents, and resources of people from civil society, from businesses, from universities, faith-based institutions, and from young people across the world. I got to witness some of this. I had the privilege to work on one of the goals in a previous role at the U.S. Agency for International Development and to speak around the world to audiences on the issue. Including so many people from the outset, literally millions, was not only brilliant, it was the right thing to do. And it gives us a remarkable starting point for action. That said, from those millions, I want to stop and thank a few specific people tonight. First thanks go, of course, to Secretary General Ban Ki-moon and Ms. Amina Mohammed, Special Advisor on post-2015 development planning, for their unwavering commitment and vision for what this agenda could be. Please join me. And to the three co-facilitators of the post-2015 development agenda process, Mucharia Kamo and Shaba Karosi, who ably guided a deeply evidence-based open working group process, and then again, Mucharia Kamo, together with David Donahue, who brought us over the finish line, or rather to the starting point for 2030. From our US team, it's my pleasure to thank the consistent commitment, thoughtfulness, and care of my friend and predecessor, Ambassador Elizabeth Cousins, and my friend and former USAID colleague, post-2015 Special Coordinator Tony Pippa. And to thank my new team, my colleagues, the stellar teams at the US mission to the United Nations that supported both Ambassador Cousins and Special Coordinator Pippa. I want to turn now briefly to the harder part, to the responsibility on each of us to make these goals real. The responsibility on each of us to realize the agenda's grandest ambitions and to give tangible meaning to the 17 goals and, yes, 169 targets. My colleagues and I believe all these goals and targets are important, but I want to focus for a few moments on a few aspects. Goal 16, that promotes access to justice for all, accountable and inclusive institutions, and of course, first, peaceful and inclusive societies. This is in many ways a platform for development from which so much else derives. All governments, including my own, must work harder at building more just, inclusive, and transparent societies. Making our governments more accountable to the citizens that we serve is, frankly, hard. It's hard in a world where we are inundated with more sources of information than ever before. Yet listening and responding to citizens is critical. It requires perpetually looking for the people in our societies and asking, who are denied basic opportunities, and asking what we can do to help to remove obstacles in their way. And we are the first to admit today in 2015 that we have a lot of work to do in this regard. Yet as I saw just last week in Mexico at the Open Government Partnership, something electrifying happens when you put together reformers from inside government with civil society groups seeking to empower citizens. I know we're going to find new and innovative ways to work together on this, as you just heard. Let me highlight another enormous opportunity that has emerged from the global goals. As it turns out, we still live in a world where humans are bought and sold. The global goals provide us with targets that address human trafficking and modern slavery. Their inclusion in the agenda enables us to do much more collaboratively to tackle what is, alas, a 21st century development challenge, even though we might have thought it went the way of the 19th century. The global movement to combat trafficking has made great strides since the UN adopted the Palermo Protocols 15 years ago. But now we need everyone on board. We need more donors engaged on the issue. We need all of you in this room, your families, your neighbors, as consumers, to know where your food and clothes come from and that it's free from human trafficking, and to ask your government to do everything it can to step up to this challenge of ending slavery. While 2030 seems a long way off, it is actually a blink of an eye. So let's start moving toward implementation and achievement, and I look forward to working with all of you in the coming months. Thank you so much.